Hello, I am your Hritika. Today I am going to explore the historical city called Regensburg. Regensburg is the fourth largest city in the state of Bavaria after Munich, Nuremberg, and Augsburg, and the eighth largest of all cities on the river Danube. This city is in eastern Bavaria at the confluence of the rivers Danube, Naab, and Regen. Danube's northernmost point. It is the capital of Upper Palatinate, sub-region of the state. Medieval center of the city was made a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2006 because of its well-perceived architecture, being the biggest medieval city site north of Alps, and the city's historical importance for ensembles during the Holy Roman Empire. In 2014, Regensburg was among the top sites and traveling attractions in Germany. Now we are starting our journey. First, I am going to show you St.Peters Cathedral. This is also called as Regensburg Cathedral. It is an example of important Gothic architecture within the German state of Bavaria. It is a landmark for the city of Regensburg, Germany, and seat of Catholic Diocese of Regensburg. Construction on Regensburg Cathedral began in 1275 and was completed around 1872 after about 600 years of construction. While the main structure was largely completed by 1520, later additions like the towers and spires were added in the 19th century. In the 17th century, the cathedral underwent renovations in the Baroque style, including the addition of the dome over the crossing. Later, these Baroque elements were removed and replaced with Gothic-style features in 19th century. Here is the front of the cathedral. is a sightseeing train that goes through Regensburg. You can buy tickets in front of the cathedral, but we didn't take it because we wanted to explore the sites on foot. After watching this video all the way through, we did a full walking tour of Regensburg and it was amazing. In Regensburg, the Porta Praetoria refers to the visibly preserved remainings of the north gate of the former Roman legionary camp, Casta Regina, which was built in the 2nd century. These narrow streets were incredibly beautiful. We are entered Wallenstrasse 14. Here we can see the Golden Tower in Regensburg's Old Town, and it is one of the family towers built by wealthy patrician families as status symbols in the Middle Ages. It was built around 1250 but only saw limited use as a residential tower in 18th century. The tower was the tallest house tower north of the Alps and along with St.Peters Cathedral and Stone Bridge become a landmark of Regensburg. The tower is about 50 meters. Now we are entered Neue Pfarrplatz. Here we can see the new parish church, and it is an evangelical church in Regensburg. We can see the parish church of St. Cassian in Regensburg. Now we are approaching Danube River. Here we can see the southern outer wall of Wurstkuche, remains of the former city wall. This is a local history museum in Regensburg. In front of the Besucherzentrum Welterbe, we can see the historische Wurstkuhl Bavarian restaurant. This shop is over 850 years old. We can see a miniature from Regensburg. From here we can see Steinerne Brücke or Stone Bridge, that is Regensburg's most important and popular landmark. Going through this arch leads us to the stone bridge. But let's go into the Besucherzentrum Welthaber now. This Besucherzentrum was a salt warehouse. The municipal salt warehouse east of the stone bridge in the old town of Regensburg was built between 1616 and 1620 and supplemented the older and smaller Bergerstade west of the bridge. The municipal salt warehouse was built to store rock salt or table salt. The salt was transported by horse-drawn salt trains over the Salzach and in rivers and finally on the Danube from the salt deposits and salt works in the Wiener area around Passau, Salzburg, Hallstatt and Berchtesgaden to Regensburg, where it was unloaded by cranes. After seeing the Besucherzentrum, we come to the stone bridge. The total length of the stone bridge is 336 meters, of which 309 meters visible, and the width is 8 meters. Under the stone bridge, we can see 16 arches, but from here only 14 are visible. The construction was between 1135 and 1146. The stone bridge is regarded as a masterpiece of medieval architecture and is the oldest surviving bridge in Germany. If you visit Regensburg, you should definitely see the stone bridge, and it also offers a panoramic view from here. We crossed the bridge and we are now at the other side of it. The atmosphere here is wonderful, with crowds of people enjoying the town, socializing and having drinks. From this spot, the view of the colorful historic buildings is truly stunning. After being here for a while, we went to the other side again. Now we are in the Goliathstrasse. Here we can see the Goliath House. The Goliath House is an imposing, early Gothic, farmhouse fortress dating from 1220 to 1230 in the old town of Regensburg. Now we are in front of Altes Rathaus Regensburg. Here we can see the medieval town hall with Baroque and Gothic elements, a 180-foot clock tower and history museum. At Regensburg's medieval old town hall on Rathausplatz, three buildings built at different times can be distinguished. To the south, the Imperial Hall building with its bay window adjoining the Portal building with staircase and gateway, and to the east of the gateway, the oldest town hall building in the style of a patrician house with a town hall tower. Now we reached Heidplatz. Heidplatz is one of many squares in Regensburg's old town, as a particularly large square now located at the heart of the old town. The square gained particular importance during the early Middle Ages due to increasing settlement soon after the Romans abandoned the neighboring Roman camp to the east. Now we reached Bismarckplatz. The Bismarckplatz, named after Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, is located at the western end of the inner old town of Regensburg and is bordered to the south by the Stadttheater. The square was created in 1803 together with Anlaufplatz, the builder Emanuel Herigion, on behalf of Prince Primate Dalberg. Now we reached Schotten Portal, or Scottish Monastery of St. Jacob. The Scottish Monastery of St. James in Regensburg, Bavaria is a former Benedictine monastery in Diocese of Regensburg. The monastery was found around 1100 by Irish monks and taken over by Scottish monks around 1500. The famous north portal of the adjoining monastery church with its portal figures is one of the greatest works of Romanesque architecture. Here we can see the St. Egidian Roman Catholic Church. It was built with Gothic style architecture. Now we are approaching St. Emmeram Castle. It is also called Thurn and Taxis Castle. It is a castle belonging to the princely house of Thurn and Taxis in Regensburg. In the present time, we can't enter the castle because it is private. Now we are in front of St. Emmeram's Church. It is 1200 years old. St. Emmeram's is a church building in Regensburg, began around 780. The church was the main church of the monastery of St. Emmeram, which was elevated to a princely abbey in 1731. After secularization, the abbey church became the parish church of the city of Regensburg and was elevated to a minor basilica by Pope Paul VI on 5th March 1964 with the apostolic letter Terra Sacra. Now we entered the church and the works were very stunning. loved this tour. It was not only beautiful but also a truly special experience. Buildings were also very nice. The city tour train is moving around here too. Now we are standing in front of the Ostentor. This is also a historical landmark from Regensburg. The medieval Ostentor, constructed starting in 1284, marks the eastern boundary of Regensburg's old town and opens into the main road heading west today, known as Adolf-Schmeitzer-Straße. The Ostentor Tower was one of 6 gate towers that once formed part of the city fortification and was built to protect the area then referred to as Ostenforstadt. The gate was built over the arterial road leading east to Vienna and was thus the city gate through which the emperor entering the city on his way from Vienna on the Danube. Near the Danube River, we can see the golden catfish statue. It is not only an impressive work for art, but also a real highlight for every visit to the city. With its golden surface that shimmers in the sun, the statue attracts everyone's attention and invites you to stop and admire it. The golden catfish is a very nice photo opportunity. Near the statue, we can see the Haus der Bayerischen Geschichte. Larger sections of the Roman legionary camp wall have been preserved at 3 locations in Regensburg's old town. Here is one of it. Now we are passing by the Minaret Kirche. It is the church of St. Salvatore and is centrally located on Dachplatz. The former monastery church now belongs to the Historical Museum of the city of Regensburg. Now we are in front of Basilica of the Nativity of Our Lady Regensburg. It was built in 870. This is the oldest church in Bavaria, built in the early medieval era and redesigned in the Baroque age. The interior features Rococo art at its finest. There is an internal fence for security, but it doesn't obscure the views. The side chapel has no fence and had stunning Rococo art adorning its ceiling. Near the Nativity Church, we can also see the Karmelitan-Kirche. I hope you enjoyed this walking tour and I hope you like it too. Thanks for watching. See you at the next video. Bye. Tschüss.